Hello, and thank you for joining me for another video of me geeking out. So this video is gonna be around the ratio between CPC, CPMs, CTRs, and creatives. And there is a big group of people who think that essentially if you have a better creative, then you have a better hook rate, you're gonna have better CPCs, CTR, and then that's gonna result a very low CPA, which is definitely not true. We have seen that there is no direct correlation between the CTR and the CPCs that you're gonna get. Some days you're gonna have 1% CTR and you're gonna have $2 CPC, and the other day you're gonna have almost double the CTR without going on a lower CPC, and the CPC might have even gone up to $3, for example, and that's something that has been consistent over and over again. And I want to talk about the different types of variables that impact those metrics at the end of the day, and show how there is a connection between the creative and those metrics, but it's definitely not something that I would prioritize as being, the king. And I'm also gonna give you a very big tip on how to actually win, because most of us, at least once in our lives, we've seen an ad that's actually working and that's doing very fine. We've seen it on the Facebook ad library. We decided to either create something very similar or even rip that ad and launch it, and we've seen that it doesn't work in terms of the CPA. And the reason why is that we usually look at the CPCs, CTRs, CPMs, and if we see that they're not where we want them to be according to the averages of our winning ads, or according to what we know is good or not from other campaigns, and then we kill it. And Facebook and all of the other platforms, they actually need a lot more time to connect and understand what's working. So for the campaign to stabilize, especially post iOS 14, and that area of losing lots of tracking data and conversion data and just like that, and we've seen the Facebook algorithm completely change, campaign structures look differently, and results have been very, very fluctuating and all over the place. So you want to understand there is a direct correlation between the amount of time that you actually run an ad and run a campaign, even if it's losing, and the target CPA and how close you're gonna get to it. Okay, reasons for that is, one, Facebook wants to see that you are a stable advertiser and you are generating profit for them on the long run. They don't prioritize advertisers that go up and down and up and down with campaigns and just like easy to pause, easy to launch. They want to see stable growth in the account if possible. And the second reason is that it takes the campaign a lot of time to generate the amount of conversions that it actually needs to dial down the target audience. Third reason is that what happens throughout time, even if you're not getting a lot of responses on the first few days, is that you're gonna get more likes, more comments, more shares, and that's gonna create a bandwagon effect. It's enough that 1 or 5 or 10 comments ask some questions, or just like bring up some kind of like conversation into the post, so that people actually comment on that, and actually Facebook sees it as a very strong signal. But going back to the first part of this topic, the correlation or the connection between CPCs, CPMs, CTRs, and the CPA, or how good the creative is, you have to understand that unlike what a lot of people think, that the creative is something like 80, 90, 100% of it, it is not. Do you need a strong creative? Yes. It doesn't have to look good. It doesn't have to be clickbaity. It doesn't have to have the right metrics that you think, because at the end of the day, those metrics are affected by lots of stuff. Okay? If you want to test what I'm saying, you should run 2 types of campaigns, and I've tested it plenty of times. One is a search ARB campaign. You can use one of the feeds for the search or content arbitrage campaigns. Lots of people are running those, and launch a campaign with the same creatives that you are using for another campaign. And you're gonna see that if, for example, your CPC on the e-com website is gonna be $1 to $2 or $3 per click, those clicks are gonna be way under 0.5, 0.3, way under that by tens of percentages. And the reason is that Facebook takes a lot into consideration when it comes to the different types of ratings and how to price it. So one, the algorithm actually looks at the landing page and the customer user experience, how fast it loads. Two, the algorithm also scans the website, gets insight, sees the cost per consumer for the consumer, understands how much you're pricing your product, and then it tries to match it with other stuff that people are actually browsing through Facebook. So you're competing against everyone, but you're also competing against whatever category that Facebook puts you in. So it's the same with native campaigns. When you go on Taboola, what happens is that in the first day or first hours of campaign, the algorithm is gonna put you in a certain category. And if it puts you in the same category that you need to be in, you're gonna get a specific type of audience. And if it's not the case, then you're gonna compete with other people. Sometimes it's way better because you're gonna be priced at a different point. And sometimes it's very bad because you're not gonna target the same audience that you need to target. And sometimes the platforms make mistakes. Again, sometimes we benefit from it and sometimes we lose from it. But essentially, when you isolate, when you do the test that I've done and actually see that the same creative throughout different landing pages or different products gets different CPCs, you understand how weak of a variable the creative actually is. So you want to make sure that you actually test that and see it for yourself. Second or third or whatever thing is that your page, your ad account, and your business manager has to do a lot with the rating you have. So you have a few ratings when it comes to the ad account. You have the risk in terms of like, are you a customer that's gonna pay or not? And then you have the quality in general of your ad account and business manager and business in general. Have you been verified or not? These are all internal Facebook stuff. So again, you don't have transparency to that, but if you have a Facebook rep or if you have someone inside Facebook, they can tell you if you need to change anything, and that's gonna help you with understanding lots of stuff better. But again, my main, like, if there are two takeaways to take from this video is one, don't pause campaigns after a few hours, not even after a few days. You wanna let the system actually learn. Lots of my campaigns are creatives or campaigns that didn't convert to begin with. It took them some time, and then they generated some conversions, and then I managed how either to lower the cost or the daily budget, or just beat them down, cost cap, bid cap them to a point where they managed to stabilize. So make sure that you actually give it some time, and if you don't have the budget, and I have a whole video around the bid to budget ratio and the budget to the number of conversions that you need on the same day, because if your payout and the cost to consumer is 200 and you're giving it 600, you're actually misleading the algorithm, and the algorithm thinks that you're giving it enough budget to actually get those 12 conversions a day, but you aren't. So it's gonna go on a discovery and exploration mode and find different types of audience, and that's gonna drive your CPA probably way higher if it's even going to convert. So make sure that you do not pause, and also make sure that you take those metrics and study them. That means that you don't take them as kind of like, the Bible or your benchmarks across the board, because you're actually also going to see lots of fluctuations and changes that are being made around other advertisers, or because of other advertisers, or different times of years. Okay, so you want to be extremely dynamic when it comes to it. I think that there are other metrics like hook rate and stuff like that that you do want to look at when you're examining your creative, but never define or decide on whether to kill or not kill a campaign or a creative because it has higher CPCs, for example, or lower CTR and stuff like that. Thank you so much.